Welcome to FSH Research University, your ultimate guide on your next research project. We will lay down the best practices in research ideation, literature review, experimental design, and data analysis to guide you as you carry out your research project. Learn from the FilSciHub team of research scientists and some invited subject matter experts. FilSciHub Research University will be your personal coach through every stage of your research project, from ideation to final assessment. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Visit us at philscihub.com and be part of this learning journey. Let's learn and succeed together here at FilSciHub Research University. Welcome to FilSciHub Research University, your ultimate guide on your next research project. We will lay down the best practices in research ideation, literature review, experimental design, and data analysis to guide you as you carry out your research project. Learn from the FilSciHub team of research scientists and some invited subject matter experts. FilSciHub Research University will be your personal coach through every stage of your research project, from ideation to final assessment. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Visit us at philscihub.com and be part of this learning journey. Let's learn and succeed together here at FilSciHub Research University.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Welcome to the Filipino Science Hub. Thank you for your continued support to this online platform. To our new participants, thank you for checking us out today, and we would like to officially welcome you to the FilSciHub family. So bago po tayo magsimula, I would like to share some house rules in order to facilitate a smooth session for everyone. For our Zoom participants, we would appreciate it if you could turn your audio and video cameras off during the webinar. If you have questions or comments, feel free to type them on our Zoom chat box or YouTube live comments, and we will try to accommodate as much questions and comments as possible. After the talk, we will have a 30-minute Q&A where the Zoom participants will have the opportunity to ask their questions live. We would also like to request for everyone to not record the webinar. The full video of the session will be posted on our official YouTube channel. For those who would like to receive a certificate of participation, a Google Form link will be posted on our Zoom chat box, YouTube live comments, and YouTube video description towards the end of the webinar. Please make sure that you enter the correct information, especially your email address, to ensure receipt of the certificate. Also, for you to obtain the certificate, you will need to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our page on Facebook. Please note that we receive hundreds of requests and it takes around 7 days or so to process all the certificates. If you do not receive your certificate after a week, please feel free to send us a message on Facebook or email us at philscihub@gmail.com. So again, welcome po sa FilSciHub. Welcome to all our Zoom participants and our YouTube live viewers. For those who are new and may not be familiar with who we are and what we do, allow me to share our mission and vision in the next few minutes. Filipino Science Hub is an online platform founded by our CEO, Filipino scientist Dr. Jeffrey Camacho Bunquin, back in 2012. Currently, we are a registered nonprofit organization based in Houston, Texas, United States. Our mission is to promote STEM education and the culture of research among students and teachers in the Philippines and abroad. Our current global leadership team is comprised of volunteer Filipino scientists and seasoned STEM educators from different parts of the world. Our vision is to see a technology and innovation-driven Philippines, And we believe that this can be achieved by creating a new generation of well-rounded Filipino STEM enthusiasts. This vision is being carried out via our two major programs, the PhilSciHub Ed program and PhilSciHub Research University. Through PhilSciHub Ed, we are able to empower and support our teachers when it comes to strengthening STEM fundamentals education. We believe that this is important because the more equipped our STEM educators are, the more they can inspire our students to pursue a career in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Through this program, we have been able to serve our teachers by creating STEM teaching modules as well as conducting teachers training webinars, all of which are accessible on our website for free. So we have also been able to collaborate with major educational organizations that have the same goals and advocacies as Filipino Science Hub. Through these partnerships, we have been able to further expand our reach and help more students and teachers, especially during the time of pandemic. So together, everybody achieves more. The other major program that drives our vision forward is PhilSciHub Research University. We believe that in order to strengthen a STEM culture, students also need to be able to learn how to conduct a scientific research. As we know, many scientific and technological breakthroughs happen through research, and we would like to equip our younger generation by providing them proper scientific research training. So ika nga po, start them young. Here at PhilSciHub Research University, we provide free courses on fundamentals of scientific research, such as research ideation, literature review, how to write a research proposal, how to communicate your research work to the scientific community, among other courses. Through this program, we are also able to bring practicing scientists closer to the STEM educational sector. So because of this closer contact, our students become more aware of the possible STEM career path available for them and how these careers contribute to the advancement of the society around them. So up to date, we have been able to reach over 70,000 students and teachers all over the world, and we know that this will continue to grow in the years to come. And this is why we are all very excited on what is in store here at PhilSciHub. Our official website is www.philscihub.com. This is where you can access all our materials such as webinars, tutorials, modules, virtual lab, and special features. We are also present in several social media platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. So follow us wherever you're most active on to get updated with our web events. So again, thank you for being with us this morning. And to officially start our webinar, I would like to turn the virtual floor over to our host for today. Good morning po sa lahat. Muli po, welcome to the Filipino Science Hub. So happy Saturday po sa ating mga Zoom participants as well as YouTube Live participants. So today we have a very special webinar. It's titled Introduction to Planetary Health, featuring Dr. Byomkesh Talukder from York University in Canada. And to introduce our speaker for this morning, may I call on Dr. Janice Averilia, dialing in from Kansas City. So, Dr. Janice, take it away.
Hello, good morning sa ating lahat. First, our team would like to thank the Planetary Health Network of Young Professionals, or known as Planet on Facebook and LinkedIn, for introducing our community to our speaker for today. So our guest is the inaugural Planetary Health Fellow at the Dadali Institute for Global Health Research at York University in Toronto, Canada, where he works at the intersection of health, sustainable development, climate change, and food and agriculture systems. He is currently a project co-director in research projects like climate change, related health risks in Canada's imported food supply chains, and complex adaptive modeling of health impacts of climate change in countries like Malawi. This is located in Southeastern Africa and Paraguay. He has over 15 years of interdisciplinary field and training experience, including the supervision of more than 2,000 emerging leaders in sustainable development programs and policy design in Bangladesh. So since 2016, he has been a postdoctoral fellow at Parmalat, Canada, and the DeSoto's Faculty of Management in McGill University. He holds a PhD in Geography and Environmental Studies from Wilfrid Laurier University in Canada, an MES in Environmental Studies from Queen's University, an MSc in Development Science from Hiroshima University in Japan, and an MSc in Geography and Environment from Jahangirnagar University from Bangladesh. So today he will be introducing to us his passion, a recently emerging field called planetary health. So friends, please, let's all welcome to the Filipino Science Hub community, Dr. Byomkesh Talukder, dialing in from Kitchener, Canada. Byomkesh, take it away. Byomkesh, I think you're muted.
Yes, I am just opening my presentation. I think, let me share with it with everybody. Share screen. What happened? Okay, share. Yeah.
Yeah, we can view it now.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Byomkesh,
I think you're muted again.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank Filipino Science Hub for giving me this opportunity to present on introduction to planetary health. And I welcome you all to this presentation. It's good morning, whoever in Philippines, and from Canada, it is good night. So what I have actually divided my presentation in two parts. In first part, I will show my journey in very brief to become a planetary health fellow at the Dalai Institute in Global Health Research at York University. So I born in Bangladesh in 1973, and this is actually my house in a compound, and there is a river. I really like this river in Bangladesh. I did my junior high school at Mirzapur Escape Pilot High School. It is in Bangladesh, in a village. And then I did my college at Notre Dame College, Dhaka. And then I did my undergrad and master's in Geography and Environment at Jahangirnagar University, Dhaka. After passing from the university, I joined Bangladesh Public Administration Training Center as a faculty member, where I used to train civil servants of the Bangladesh on various aspects of sustainable development, also health impact of climate change, as well as disaster management. So, and then in 2005, I got that scholarship. It is a German academic exchange service scholarship at Munich Technological University. But after 2 months, I actually declined that scholarship. And then in 2006, I also got Erasmus Mundus scholarship, European Union funded. I also declined. Then I actually accepted Japan Grant Aid for Human Resource Development Scholarship. I know many Filipinos is also actually with me at that time when I was in actually Hiroshima University, and I have so many friends in Philippines too. And then in 2010, I moved to Canada as an immigrant. So then again, I did another master's at Queen's University. This is a very beautiful picture of the Queen's University in environmental studies. And after that, from 2012 to 2016, I did my PhD at Wilfrid Laurier University in natural resource management. And then I got a postdoc, MyTech postdoctoral fellowship at McGill University to work with Palmolive Canada, one of the leading dairy industries, at the Center for the Convergence of Health and Economics. And then in 2018, I joined actually as a Planetary Health Fellow at Datal Institute of Global Health Research. And now I also working, again, I am working with Center for the Convergence of Health Economics as a smart training. At Datal Institute, I am actually working to model health impact of climate change in Malawi, Bangladesh, and also in Paraguay by deploying complex adaptive system framework and using system dynamics and agent-based modeling to understand the health impact of climate change, as well as also developing the community-led intervention so that they can reduce the health impact as well as develop some kind of intervention to adapt with the health impact of climate change. And this is my, Google's, scholar profile. You can look at Google Scholar to see that what type of work I'm doing and what type of research I'm publishing. And also then I was actually highlighted by the, in vivo planetary health as an early career researcher. I would say that this is actually a good, contribution or also a highlight for my career. And I'm really fortunate enough to work with some world famous and, academician. For an example, Professor James Orbinsky. He was the MSF International Council President at the time of organization received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1999. And then I also got to work with Professor Keith Heipel. He is the president of Canadian Royal Society of Science, and he's a system design engineer. And I learned a lot about system design and a complex adaptive system from him. And I also got a chance to talk with Stiglitz, the Nobel Prize winner in economics, as well as Dr. Mohammed Yunus. He's also a Nobel Prize winner. So I thought that maybe the young student, they would be motivated to see all this interaction. So now I will actually introduce the planetary health. So broadly defined, planetary health is the health of human civilization and the natural system on which it depends. So in general, everything is connected with everything. So our health is also connected with the health of the natural systems and also our social systems, as well as also other systems like biosphere, hydrosphere, oceanosphere, and cryospheres. That is part of the hydrosphere. So, but if we define planetary health, we can define it as the achievement of the health, high standard of health by systematically and judicially addressing the equity where the social system like political, economical, and also educational system that has to be integrated to understand the relation of human health with natural systems. So in a sense, it is not a new concept. If you see all the religion, you will find that it is stressed that human is very much connected with the natural systems and in all indigenous knowledge too. And I am very sure that you will find this connection in Filipinos, local knowledge or indigenous knowledge too. So, but if we try to understand the historical development of planetary health, we have to go back before Christ. That Aristotle first he showed that how the earth system actually connected with the health system. Then theory of evolution is really important by Darwin. That is also telling us that how we are actually connected with the natural systems. Silent Offspring by Rachel Crowe and from USA, when he saw that all the pesticide or insecticide actually killing the birds, and also they are actually hampering food production. And then in 70s to 80s, development of earth system science is important. Then in 80s to 90s, understanding the impact of ozone hole on human health as well as, acid rain and other things, and global common understanding of those things really shaped the foundation of planetary health. And then 2000, the anthropogenic proposed after decades of great acceleration. In 2009, planetary boundary proposed. In 2015, human adopted the SDGs, that Sustainable Development Goal and Paris Climate Agreement. In 2016, we worked on global commons in the Anthropocene and a transformation to sustainability. And later on and beyond, after COVID, we are now stressing on planetary health. So basically, planetary health emerged from the concept of Anthropocene, where the human activities drastically changing the planet biodiversity, changing its planet systems and other things. So in the next few slides, I will show that how human are actually changing the different system of the Earth. Before that, I think it is really important to look at the planetary boundaries. So there are 9 planetary boundaries. In the present world context, among those 9 boundaries, the genetic diversity under biosphere integrity is actually beyond zone of uncertainty, that means high risk, as well as also biochemical flow, that phosphorus and nitrogen, that is also under high risk. Our land system also has changed, and fresh water is also in high risk, as well as our functional biodiversity, that is also high risk. This is green zone. If this boundary falls in this green zone, actually, then we can say we are actually operating the Earth system safely. But we cannot say that in the present world context, we are operating Earth system safely. And this has a huge consequences, actually. Under this condition, as a human, we have actually progressed tremendously. First, our life expectancy has increased from 1950 to 2000. It is almost all around the world 75 almost. Poverty has reduced over the year from 1950 to 2000, and also recorded death under 5, that also has reduced from 20 million to 100 million. So we actually have achieved so many things, but at the expense of what? At the expense of our carbon dioxide emission has increased. If you look at 1800 to 2000, you see the trend, it is ever increasing. Ocean acidification is also ever increasing. You can also, let me do something, okay. You can also see energy use is also ever increasing. Tropical forest loss, that is actually, we are just destroying that from 1800 to 2000. And water use also increasing, and fertilizer is also increasing. And this tells us that we are putting huge pressure on our Earth systems. And as a result, you can see from this picture or graph that how global temperature have risen by 1 degree Celsius from 1850 to 2010. So our blue planet actually has become a red planet. That means it is becoming very hot day by day. So that means climate change is happening and temperature is also increasing. As the recent IPCC report that just came in 2021, it is actually physical science based. It is said actually we are now, the temperature has increased plus 1.5 degrees Celsius. And if we don't take any action, if we don't reduce the carbon dioxide emission and or other greenhouse gas emission, and also if we don't establish a friendship or if we don't consider the eco-welfare, probably it will increase 2 degrees Celsius in future, and maybe in 100 years, it will be 3 degrees Celsius increase of temperature, global average temperature, and that will have a serious consequences, and that will be actually beyond imagination and can actually be a issue of survival. So by increasing of temperature as well as other anthropogenic causes, two things actually is happening. One is slow onset events that is happening very slowly. Under that, it is, you can say, desertification, sea level rise, salinization, increased temperature, land and forest degradation, loss of biodiversity, and glacier retreat. We can't see it right now, but this is actually happening very slowly, and ocean acidification. An extreme weather event that we can see, and I think that those you are living in Filipino, you also observing this storm surge or tropical cyclone, and then a drought in African countries, and also the flood, you may see, and heat waves, you can see this. And all those slow and extreme events, they have actually impact on economic losses and non-economic losses like income, physical assets, individual life, health, human mobility, like society and territory, cultural heritage, knowledge, societal cultural identity, and biodiversity and ecosystem services. So let's see that how ocean temperature actually changing. Yes, this is actually 5 years changes ocean temperature map developed by the NASA, and it is actually showing that ocean temperature actually is changing. As a result, the marine heat waves that is actually increasing day by day, and it has impact on extreme weather event, increase ocean resources, biodiversity loss, ocean biodiversity loss, and also economic loss. And also, all around the world, you are watching news that the forest fire is happening. This rate is actually representing the zone of the forest fire, and even I found that Filipino, they also falls this forest fire. So it also has consequences and heat wave all around the world, especially those countries actually in tropical and subtropical, this belt, they are actually feeling the extreme heat wave because of the increase of temperature. And then massive deforestation all around the world. And then Amazon rainforest, it was a huge news last year, but all the red areas, this deforestation is happening. And I will show that how they are actually, and also have impact on our health. And so tropical cyclone intensity shifting, and also it is showing that it has a relation with warming, global warming, and the intensity of the tropical cyclone actually increasing day by day. And Bangladesh is feeling it, USA is feeling it. I'm sure Filipino is also feeling the extreme cyclone, the impact. And also all around the world, the desertification is also taking place. You can see these are the areas where the desertification are taking place because of the temperature, and glacier is also melting. You can see these are the Himalayan glaciers. If these glaciers actually melt in 100 years, then 10 major rivers will dry up. And as a result, you can imagine what will be the consequences in these areas between India and China and in other Asian countries. And also sea level is rising from 1880 to 1990. If you see that all around the world, these are the red lines where the sea level is rising, and you can see all the coastal countries or coastal areas, they will face the sea level rise. And as I said, that because of the anthropogenic causes by human activities, as well as also climate change and changing of the other earth systems, the biodiversity is actually declining. You can see from 1970 to 2010, the mammals, they are now, they're in serious condition. Not only the mammals, but also other species, if you look at this graph, you can understand if we keep business as usual, this black curve, you look at this, there will be no biodiversity in future, maybe in 50 years or 100 years. And also our 50% population will live in urban areas, and we need huge resources for this population. And there is a chance of mass migration of 1 billion people by 2100, you know. This is the projection made by Asian Development Bank. And in that condition that we are actually projecting, under that condition, our population will be 9.6 billion by 2050. More population means we need more resources, more land, we need more biodiversity to have a good life. We need more food. That means that grain production will have, tremendous impact of our agricultural production system, and we need more water to produce more food. But as we see from previous slides, that actually our natural resources, they are declining. As a result, there will be a serious impact on human health. It is estimated that 100,000 people may die per year between 2030 to 2050. Biodiversity will be disappeared, like polar bear and other fish species from the ocean. Our nutrition will be under serious threat. There will be a conflict over water uses, and 40% of the world population could be living in areas under severe water stress and soil degradation, millions hectares of agricultural land per annum. That means the soil health will be deteriorated. As a result, our food production will be seriously hampered. Since biodiversity will be deteriorated, we can say that will have impact on our health outcomes, climate change, ecosystem services, food and water security, as well as overall sustainable development goal. Biodiversity loss will also have a serious impact on our overall food systems, because our food system that depends on biodiversity. But decline of pollinators like bees or other pests or other things, and also increase of pests and pathogens due to the climate change and anthropogenic factors, the food production system will be hampered. And then climate change will alter many crops, where many crops are growing. For an example, in Canadian prairies, that can be, go under winter or snow for many months, and then production of crops will be really difficult. As well as scientists find that the rice growing under elevated carbon condition loses substantial amount of protein, zinc, iron, vitamin B, and you can imagine the rice feeding countries like Bangladesh, China, India, Philippines, and other Asian countries. Because of this reason, they will have a deficiency of protein, zinc, iron, and vitamin B that we actually get from rice. And our children's health will be in serious condition in 30 to 50 years. And all those things actually part of the planetary health. And the food production will also be hampered. But there is already a condition where 2 billion people are affected by moderate or severe food insecurity. And you can see in Latin America, 42.5 million people actually in hunger. In Africa, 256.1 million people is in hunger, and in Asia, 530.9 million people is in hunger. That means we couldn't solve the poverty and hunger situation, and then we already have all these planetary health issues. And as a result, all around the world, the undernutrition and the health of the children, that will be a serious question, like in South Asia or maybe even in East Asian and the Pacific, and also the whole world. And due to the loss of the production, the mental health of the farmers, that will be seriously hampered, because you need a decent livelihood to have a good mental health. And there is a probability of spreading vector-borne disease like malaria and other disease. This is an example where due to the deforestation, the monkey malaria actually is spreading and spilling over to human bodies. So now I presented, very briefly, that what are the possible consequences by due to changing of different Earth system and or of the slow onset events. So I will give a specific example that what will happen due to the increase of sea level rise from Bangladesh. And I thought that this can be a very good example for Filipino too, since Philippines is surrounded by seas. Now you see in coastal Bangladesh, that is the home of 40 million people. But because of 1 meter sea level rise, many parts of Bangladesh will go underwater. And if it is increased 1 + 1 meter, then 15 million people will be affected, and this part will go underwater. And if it is 1.5 meter increase, then 19 million coastal people of Bangladesh will be affected by sea level rise. And this is because that 80% of Bangladesh is under floodplain and lies under 1 meter above sea level. The salinity actually is increasing in coastal Bangladesh. This is the isohaline line. You can see from 1973 to 2009. In 1973, it was actually here. And now this saline line actually moving towards the inland in the more freshwater zone. So it is actually telling us that yes, salinity is increasing with the increase of temperature. And also then cyclone every year, actually it is increasing, and Bangladesh affected by cyclone. Both the cyclone and salinity, that is actually creating storm surge and other things. And as a result, many villages in Bangladesh that is actually hit by storm surge now becoming a barren land, and you can see the salinity. And this salinity actually having 3 types of health impacts that we actually categorize as primary health impact, secondary health impact, and tertiary health impact. What are the primary health impact? The primary health impact of the scarcity of fresh water. So you cannot drink saline water, so you have to actually bring fresh water from other part of the country, or other from your neighbor areas, because saline water penetrating in the groundwater and water table, so both groundwater and surface water becoming saline, so you cannot actually drink saline water. As a result, the diarrhea, cholera, dysentery, rashes, itching, skin infection, and ocular disease, that is actually increasing. So we did a survey and we found that among the respondents, where this S is the saline area where people are doing shrimp, they said that 24% respondents said they have this diarrhea, 67% respondents said they have dysentery, stomach pain, and also gas problem, also itching. And another serious problem, that is secondary health impact by consuming a lot of saline water, or maybe sodium is in food system, the hypertension actually increasing. That is non-communicable disease. And it is already proven by different study that these are the example that where this scientific study are showing, yes, because of the increase of salinity, the hypertension actually among the coastal people actually increasing. Another secondary health impact that recently Bangladesh ICDDRB, it is one of the international diarrhea research centers, they found that the women who are actually living near to the coast, probably they are living in the high saline zone. Among them, the rate of miscarriage is higher than who are living in the fresh zone. So you can see that the miscarriage may have a relation with salinity. Another problem in Bangladesh, that is hygiene of the reproductive health, especially for the woman, because you can to take care of reproductive health, you need a fresh water. So you cannot actually clean your reproductive health by saline water. So that is also creating a lot of issues in the reproductive health. And also another secondary health impact, that is because in saline zone, probably you can do only one type of things, maybe shrimp, that is actually saline water based, fish. So, and as a result, you are losing diversified crops or other fish varieties. And recently in a study, it was found that because of the deficiency of vitamin, the ricket among children actually increasing. So this can be considered as a secondary health impact. And another health impact that is actually related with adaptation. So since salinity is increasing, so government of Bangladesh and NGOs and local people are taking different intervention to adapt. One of the adaptation strategy is harvesting rainwater. But when they are actually harvesting rainwater, that rainwater actually coming through asbestos sheet. Now this asbestos is actually one of the element of cancer because it is not regulated. And in a recent study, it is found that the rate of breast cancer and also ovarian cancer is really high in the coastal Bangladesh. So we are thinking that this may be a tertiary planetary health impact because of the maladaptation. Rainwater harvesting is good, but when we are doing adaptation, we also have to think about this. Since salinity is increasing, a lot of people actually migrating in different parts of the countries from this part, the coastal areas. And as a result, often they are actually landing in the urban slum areas. And in the slum areas, they don't have any basic health facilities. So they even don't have access to clean water. And in a very harsh environment they are living. So that is also bringing another kind of health impacts. And also we found that this increase of salinity and creating a very degraded environmental condition and lack of ecosystem services and other things, the doctor, they don't want to go there. And as a result, there is an impact of health inequality. That means access to health. The coastal people is not getting access to health because the doctors, they don't want to stay there. They are, and everything is saline there. So it's a very harsh condition there. So now recently, UNDRR, that UN Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, they said that by the year 2030, an estimated 50% of the world population will live in coastal areas exposed to flooding, storm, and tsunamis. So you can see that the people who are living in coastal areas, they will not be exposed by saline water, but also will be exposed by flooding, storms, and other things. So that is, so far I have given the one example of increase of sea level rise as a slow onset event and what can happen in our health. While temperature is increasing, then vector-borne disease like mosquito-borne disease is also increasing or re-emerging in different parts of the world, and especially in tropical and subtropical countries. And this is the map that is also reflecting what I said. This is not only happening in tropical or subtropical countries. This is also happening in country like Canada. It is considered as a cold country, but climate change actually creating a favorable environment where the malaria, Zika, dengue can actually spread. can actually sustain. And this is also an issue for developed country like Canada. And also in USA, you will see that 30 million US coastal residents are expected to be displaced by 2021 due to the sea level rise. US farmland could be reshaped by changing climate because the drought. And Hurricane Dorian or Hurricane Katrina, another example how different part of US coast actually devastated. And also a record-breaking Californian wildfire. So you see that not only developing countries, but also developed countries, they are going to be impacted in various ways, and the health is going to be impacted. The wildfire related, just for an example, I thought that this can be a very good example. I found in Canada, as well as I visited California, and then I talked with many people, and they also said that because of the wildfire, there is a burning eyes, runny nose, chest pain, fatigue, coughing, difficult breathing, rapid heartburn, these kind of things they feel during the forest fire, after the forest fire, and also there is the burning issues also, and death also. Now, while temperature is increasing, our anthropogenic activities is increasing, many system of the earth actually is going to the tipping point. That means no point of return. For an example, the Amazon rainforest dieback, West Antarctic ice sheet disintegration, West African monsoon shifting, Indian monsoon shifting, and boreal forest shifting, and all these systems, we need all this system for the sound earth system as well as sound planetary health systems. So once they are actually degrading, they will have serious impact on our food production system, as well as they will bring different kind of disease. For an example, Indian monsoon. So whole Indian subcontinent's agriculture systems actually rain-feeded, depend on rain-feeded irrigation systems. So without rain, your groundwater will not recharge. So you cannot actually then withdraw groundwater in dry season for irrigation. And also in dry season, you also need rain. But if your monsoon actually shifted, then probably your cropping pattern will change, and farmers they don't have that know-how how to cope with this system, and that will have a serious impact on overall food production. And as a result, that will also have an impact on our health. So all around the world, climate change is happening. So since many youth participants is joining in this webinar, I thought it would be really interesting to show them that how the youth in different parts of the world, as well as in Filipino, are going to be impacted by these planetary health issues. So this is a map of overlapping climate and environmental hazard, and it is showing that shocks and stress extremely high or high, and you can see this rate Filipino actually under this. So you can say that the youth of the Philippines actually will feel the shocks as well as also the stress of environmental hazard. According to the Children Climate Risk Index, while many developed and developing countries in the tropic and subtropic, along with Philippines, they're in the extreme high risk index zone. Heat wave exposure, Philippines as well as other developing countries, they are also in extremely high heat wave zone. Then temperature anomaly, probably not that much, but still it is a portion. Water scarcity, especially the African and other tropical countries, including India and Middle East and Australia, they will feel it. Probably Philippine high to middle high range. And then riverine flooding, extremely high to low, maybe some part of the Philippines, but other part, they will also feel it. Coastal flooding, yes, Philippines is there, and also other coastal countries like India, Bangladesh, some Middle East countries, and other African countries, and also North and South American countries, they're going to feel it. And cyclone wind exposure, yes, you can see the Bangladesh is here, and then Philippines is here, Indian Ocean, the Australia, and also the USA and Mexico, that part. And also disease vector exposure. You can see the Philippines is in extremely high transmission potential zone, as well as also other tropical and subtropical tropical countries. That means a transmission of dengue, Aedes, and Zika. So all these countries, they're actually in this zone. And also the lead pollution and pesticide pollution. You can see that this is very high, extremely high zone, and also here pesticide pollution, this is also in extremely high zone. One of the things that is really important here is that children lack of adequate health and nutrition access. So those who have lack of lack of access to health and nutrition, they're more vulnerable to environmental or shocks or climate change related shocks or different planetary health issues. So you can see mostly all the countries that falls in between tropical and subtropical, including Philippines, they're the severity of children health in terms of nutrition is very high. But I think that Philippines is doing very good in education. Education is really important to eliminate the impact of vulnerability related to environmental shocks and stress. I think Philippines is in a very low severity zone, but whereas look at these African countries and also India and also Bangladesh and other countries, they're very high to low or medium. And also, poverty, asset, and social protection. According to that information, mostly the tropical and subtropical countries, the developing countries, they are in very high risk zone. And this is also, again, the children in region where climate and environmental shocks is predominant. It is also Philippines is in very high, not extremely high, but maybe high risk zone. And also the government effectiveness. That is really important in terms of addressing planetary health issues. It's a medium to low or very low, this India, Bangladesh, and also Philippines. So under that situation, that the information that I presented in my previous slide, in that situation, the World Health Organization called for an urgent action to protect health from climate change. Also, the Lancet, the most influential, medical journal, they also said that climate change is the biggest global health threat of the 21st century. And recently, doctor called for non-violent direct action over climate crisis. When doctor is saying that, yes, climate change is happening and it is going to impact our health, and also many systems of the earth. And as a result, our overall planetary health, I mean health or children health, adult health, or old people health is going to be impacted. And this is a question of our survival. So we need a non-violent direct action. So we need to save people. We need to learn about planetary health. We need to reduce food waste. We should practice a healthy diet. We need better governance. We need to use water more efficiently. We should stop deforestation. We also need family planning to control population, and we need better planning. So if we want to address planetary health issues, we need a multidisciplinary, multi-stakeholder actions involving technology and convergence of innovation along different disciplines. So we need actually health science as well as natural and physical science to tackle planetary health. You cannot address planetary health only by one discipline. You need agriculture, you need biodiversity conservation, ecology, environmental science, meteorology, oceanography, soil science, urban planning, water resources, as well as you also need cardiac medicine, genetics research, and others, for health science. So you see that there is a huge opportunity to study in this subject and then working on planetary health issues. And we need to understand the connection. What I presented before, they are very interconnected. You can say everything is connected with everything, and there is a causal relation. If something changes, that have a negative or positive impact on other things. We need to understand, because of increase of carbon dioxide, what nutrition will change, how that is going to reduce the gene, and as a result, how that going to impact the overall health condition. We need to understand land use and what is the relation with land use and neurology. We need to understand weather events and what is the relation with cardiology, and we need to understand transport and also relation with the respiratory medicine. We need to understand zoology and the human health. So you can see that we need many disciplines to address or to understand the planetary health consequences of the Anthropocene. So it looks very complex, but complex issues require, and very weird issues, that weird or complex issues require a complex methodology and complex set of knowledge. And of course, hope is most important. And we are hopeful. We need to bring system change in different, or understanding about the planet, understanding about the planet and our health. We need to understand the causal relation. We need to bring all the stakeholders, not only the student, but also the policymakers, politicians, our scientists, our researchers together to address this planetary health. As a human being, we are very much adaptive and we have the coping capacity, and we can do it. For an example, to protect the desertification, the Africa actually implementing 8,000 kilometer Great Green Wall. This is an example that what human can do and what different nation can do by coming together to address a planetary health, because it's a question of our survival. We cannot actually just sit idle and doing nothing and just watching everything and allowing increasing of carbon dioxide or destroying our ecosystem or our forest or our river systems. We have to actually address both our blue and green planet, because our sea is our blue planet and our terrestrial environment, our forest is our green planet. They are actually interconnected. They are actually two hearts of the earth. So if we want to address the present world crisis and planetary health, we have to actually address both of them together. And one of the options is nature-based solution along with the science. And we also need transboundary cooperation. We need to share our ideas, our data, our technology with across the globe. What Philippines is experiencing and adopting, that experience or that knowledge can be very vital for other part of the world, say Bangladesh or say India or say maybe other countries. So we need a common platform where we can exchange our knowledge, ideas, because we are living in only one earth. We don't have one second earth. And most important thing, I think that fourth industrial revolution, that the Internet of Things and smart city. So we are very smart. Just think about vaccination, invention of the vaccine for COVID. Within a year, human actually has invented the vaccine. But and look at the past pandemics that took like 50 years or 100 years to develop a vaccine for a pandemic. But we did it in a year. That means we have advanced technologically so fast that we can actually stop emission of carbon dioxide emission. We can hold increase of the temperatures, but for that we need young mind. We need involvement of the young people as well as also adult people, because young are the future of the world, because they will lead in future. They have to understand the planet over profit. They have to understand climate justice. They have to understand there is no planet B, only one world. Why I am saying this? Because our traditional education systems lead to think to make more profit over our planet or ecosystems, because it is actually designed in a way that we will only use the natural resources or harness the nature. That is the bottom line for our consumption or for our better life. But we don't have second earth, so we have to think about the planet too. And I think for the youth, it is actually most important for them. I think this that where Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. So I think that you should really think about this. That now, the planetary health is a very new subject and new way of thinking and understanding that everything is connected with everything. That means nature is connected to our well-being, and our biodiversity is connected with us. And we are also connected biodiversity. For our survival, we need to protect biodiversity. We need to protect our hydrological system, our terrestrial system, our biophysical system, and all type of our system. We need to protect our ocean current. We need to protect our ocean. We need to protect our forest. Now, as a new discipline, how teachers can actually introduce this in their curriculum. If they want to curriculum, I think this is a very good framework to introduce planetary health or design, course material for planetary health. And just they have to look at 5 fundamental domains. That is the Anthropocene and health, and equity and social justice, system thinking and complexity, movement building and system change, and then interconnection within natures. At local learning priority, then also keeping mind in global agenda and priorities, and local socioeconomic, cultural, and environmental condition that we have to look after, and overall anthropogenic change at a planetary scale. So if we can consider these 5 fundamental domains and look at local, regional, and global scale, then that will be fantastic to design a planetary health curriculum. So at last, I want to share this slide. This is led by one of my Filipino friend, Renjo, and he actually requested me to share with the participant of this webinar that in Philippines you have actually great resource like Planetary Health Philippines. So if you want to develop any curriculum and want to do further research, you can actually contact with them, you can collaborate with them, and even if you want to do any kind of collaborative work, we are also open. So thank you very much. Thank you for your listening.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Byomkesh, for that very informative webinar. So before we move on to the next section of our web event for this morning, we'll give Dr. Byomkesh a chance to just drink water, take a break from the talk, and we will have some announcements for all our participants because we do have a lot of web events coming up before the end of this year. And so here we're sharing you guys the web events for the rest of November and December. So obviously we had the introduction to planetary health today. And then next Saturday, we have Down to Earth, the many applications of space technologies for a better Earth, featuring Miss Stephanie Tumampos from Germany. And then on November 27, we will have Dr. Virgilio Ebajo Jr. from the De La Salle University Center of Instrumentation Facility. And he's actually part of the webinar series that we've been having beginning September. So his lecture is titled NMR Spectroscopy for Natural Products. And then on December 4, we have the fourth lecture of the same webinar series, Multi-Species Cytogenetic Analysis, featuring Mr. Michael Arnante. And then last but not the least, we will cap off the year with the webinar, What's in Your Water? An Introduction to Per and Polyfluoroalkyl Substances, to be delivered by Dr. Mary Grace Garjan, an environmental and analytical scientist here in the United States. So on our webinar series, the fifth and the last installment for the modern analytical methods will be delivered next year, which is a few months from now, January 15, 2022, by our very own Dr. Anna Karen Lacerna, and she will be talking about liquid chromatography, instrumentation, and applications in natural products research. So make sure to register and share these web events to your Facebook page, to your LinkedIn, so that way we could spread more scientific information to everyone that you know. So, all right, I think we have another announcement. Next slide, please. So after this web event, we actually have another web event, which is SciTalk. The episode for this morning or for this afternoon is Preparation, Routines, and Tips in Applying for College. So this will be hosted by two of our interns, Michael Angelo Lupac and Gerald Gayona, and they have a special guest, Mr. Jurgen Kayoka. So make sure to also tune in that after eating your lunch. So, all right, I think that's all I have for the announcement. So we can go ahead and proceed to our question and answer. All right. Okay, so Dr. Byomkesh, we do have a few questions here. So I hope you were able to drink some water.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay, so our first question is from Guada Marie. So do you think the economic status or poverty in certain countries influence planetary health?
Of course, you are right. If you see the World Development Goals, Sustainable Development Goals, the number one target is eradicating poverty, hunger and poverty. So if you are hungry and you have poverty, So you can do anything. You will never consider the environmental health because you are hungry and you have to survive. That is the bottom line. So how many days you can survive without food? 3 days. So you will destroy everything. So that's why eradication of poverty and ending hunger is really important. I think you got my question answer.
Yeah, so people get hangry, hungry and angry.
Yeah, hungry people can do anything.
Yes, okay. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Dr. Janice, do you want to
Yeah,
do the question?
so the next question is from Marites Mateo. So how can each individual help improve the planetary health? And also has a follow-up question. What domestic practices contribute to planetary health decline?
Yeah, that is a great question. I think individual constitute community, community constitute society, society constitute nation. Just think in that way. So your every action, like reducing water or planting trees or less consumption, think about the environment and also think about environmental justice. Those things will be very helpful to address planetary health issues. Like waste management can be another example. If we play our role, and also the creating awareness is really important. And I think youth has that capacity to create awareness and work on this, and advocacy is really important, because often we are talking about climate change or planetary health, but how many people actually aware about these things? Because our economic systems depends on our consumption. So it is so consumption driven that the more you consume, more your economy will run. That means more you will make money. So we have to actually now think about that, how we can actually be very nature positive while we want to achieve the highest lifestyle. Everybody want to do that. That is also important. So that's why we need to invest in science and technology too. And as an individual, you can think about that. What are the interventions that can actually help people? Even you can think that how we can reduce CO2. And young mind is the brightest mind. They can actually come up with a very innovative idea that can actually help us to prevent the many issues or reduce many impact of the planetary health issues.
All right.
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay, so next question from Jendi Mayulo. Are there high school level STEM research activities that students can perform to help improve planetary health? So majority of our participants, our audience, are actually high school STEM educators. So they're very curious to know if you could recommend some research activities in the high school level.
Yeah, I think that is a really great question. Yes, in fact, in my institute, we have a program we call Planetary Health Documentary. So where we actually invite students to document, to develop a documentary film on their local planetary health issues. I mean, how young mind, visualize the problem and what they're thinking to solve that. That is one of the way. But since planetary health is a very new, discipline, and it is now emerging, and one thing is there that it is actually proposed by the doctors, and that was another big problem. So now the specialists from other disciplines, they are actually now coming in this planetary health study of the planetary health issues. So I don't know that there is any program for the student yet, but if anybody can start it, that will be great. We can help them, how the student can be involved in planetary health issues, addressing planetary health issues. I think that will be great.
think we still have time and oh, okay, yeah. So the next question is Hanlet Sager. It was mentioned in the presentation that COVID-19 does not help climate change. Was there a great increase in stats during the peak of the pandemic?
Yes, actually,
Very
actually, that our consumption has not stopped, and we are using the same, fossil fuel industry is running. In fact, it didn't help. COVID pandemic didn't help actually. If you see the latest report, carbon emission actually is increasing. You are right, because we haven't stopped consuming the product. We are still consuming, so that is one of the problems. That means industry is actually running in full swing. That is one thing. And also CO2 emission not only depends on industrial emission, but then also our changing of the land use and land cover, that agriculture production, that is, they also have a huge, contribution, and deforestation, those things, and also melting of glaciers, so those things also have a huge contribution of, increasing CO2. So COVID-19 actually didn't help that much.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we still have some time for a couple more questions.
Yeah, I'm
No problem.
actually curious. Like, is there already like a course that you can actually study planetary health, like being offered in schools now?
Oh yeah. Nowadays there are many university actually many universities actually are offering planetary health related. Many Scandinavian, I think some universities in Norway as well as Florida University, they have a new, and also Harvard University, they are the founder of this planetary health.
Where? Sorry.
Harvard.
Oh, Harvard.
So they so you can actually study their Rockefeller, their report on planetary health. So that is like a basis of the understanding planetary health issues.
But do you know anything in Asia or?
Oh, Asia, I think
Japan.
I don't know yet. Maybe I think that the Asian countries, they are trying to start a planetary health research center in Malaysia probably, or Indonesia, and from there they will do this, because the planetary health has a overlapping with climate change and health, as well as also environmental health, and also One Health and eco health. That is two different terms, but this planetary health is like top. Then you have One Health, that is relation with animal health and human health, and eco health is relation with just environmental health and your health. But planetary health is actually talking about human system plus earth systems, because to address planetary health, you need a good governance, you need a political commitment, you need to reduce poverty, those kind of things. So planetary health is a little bit different than other systems, but that's why I think it will be there, but it will take time.
Yeah, I think making people more aware of planetary health is like very important, because if people are aware that their health is already at stake when climate change or when the environment is being destroyed, it's like I think they'd be more interested in learning about it or doing something about the environment.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. Can we have the slide, please? Okay. All right. So we have two questions here from Zoom. So from J.R. Bugarin, is there anything I can do about planetary health? And then from Renz Singh Nangote, what possible project ideas that can be studied in relation to planetary health?
Yeah, one thing you can do is stop using plastic. That can help planet a lot. You just take a oath. You will not use plastic. You will use all organic, things that can help. You can actually contribute hugely. And if you actually motivate others, that will also help. Like your friend, your family members, that will really helpful. And I think that if you really want to do any planetary health issues, I think that modeling of planetary health impact is really important, because modeling will tell us that what will happen, so scenario or forecasting in future if we don't actually address planetary health issues, how our health is impact. So for that, I think you can start, that what type of work you want to do. Maybe you can say, okay, I want to do climate change and health modeling, one example. Or I want to see that how our policy actually addressing planetary health issues. Is there any gap in Philippines in your policies to address planetary health, so that you can actually tell them, well, we have to integrate planetary health issues in our all development activities, like nature-based solution, that we have to actually address. We don't want to destroy our nature anymore. Rather, we want it, and we want to actually, we want development as well as we want a natural system to, biodiversity conservation, those kind of things. You can actually propose government, I think.
And from Randy to Macder, one of the natural laws of science is that the entropy of the universe is increasing. So any ideas, sir, to go against this natural law in order to make the Earth stay healthy?
Yeah, it's actually great question, actually, I think that we have worldwide, we have different protocol, different cooperation. And one more thing that I want to share, that we need international collaboration, in any kind of addressing any kind of planetary health issues, because it is not what is happening in Philippines. That can be again a world problem. Just think about COVID-19. It was the problem of China. Now it has become a global problem because of globalization. Just think about how many people actually traveling each day. So disease can spread very quickly from one place to another place. So that's why I think that collaboration, understanding, and respecting others, nations, and thinking about everybody can really help, So those kind of things. And also, I think collaborative work is really important. Collaboration at global scale, national scale, and transboundary scale.
Okay, great. So just to remind our participants, if you would like to ask your question live, you could do that. Feel free to send a message to me or Dr. Janice. Okay. Do we have more questions? We have 5 more minutes for Q&A. Yeah, go ahead. All right, so from Phoebe Adele, I am interested in pursuing a career in planetary health. So what academic paths can one pursue to become an expert in this field?
It's a great question. You can be a planetary health expert from any field. For an example, if you want to be a remote sensing specialist, GIS specialist, you can usually contribute in planetary health. You can be a doctor. Being a doctor, you can also contribute planetary. You can be an animal doctor. You can be an agriculturist. You can contribute, because whatever good for nature and that is protecting human health, that is actually planetary health. So you can study many things. Even you can be a teacher. You can being a teacher, you can motivate many students.
Yeah.
Protect environment. So this is the good side of planetary health, that we are talking holistically. It's a holistic approach. We are looking not as reductionist view, it's a holistic view. We are looking at issue from a holistic perspective that we want to tackle by science, social science, as well as also indigenous knowledge, for an example, local knowledge. Those things are really important, to tackle many local issues of related to planetary health.
All right. Can we go to the next question? From Sarah Jane Bualoy, what are the sustainable ways to help and maintain the planetary health?
Again, less consumption is really important. I think that is the best way. If you consume less, that means your ecological footprint is less. That means your contribution to, for carbon emission, water footprint, or land footprint is less. That is one of the way of, but I'm not saying that you live an unhealthy life. I'm saying you live a healthy life, but try to see that within the healthy life, how you can actually reduce your carbon footprint, your water footprint, your footprint, those things, even energy footprint. Just think about, you are using energy, but when you are using energy, that is actually coming by burning fossil fuel or by destroying your river system. And as a result, that is having impact on biodiversity. Think about those causal relation, cause and effect relation.
Okay. Our next question is from Jeffrey Saben. So based on a different world map you showed with different planetary health conditions or issues, I've observed that most of the countries that are prone to these planetary conditions or issues are those countries near, above, and below the equator. Why? Is there a correlation?
No, there is no correlation. There is actually many causes. First of all, colonial history. You have to understand all those countries under the colonial, rule. For 200, 300, 400 years, they have been harnessed by so-called developed countries. As a result, there is a vacuum of good governance, science, technology, because, as a result, they are under poverty line. And there is the international politics also. That is one reason. And now we are considered as a poor country. So we are actually trying. For an example, China. China was a poor country like 30 years ago. They are, that is a poor country. They don't have, even their people actually couldn't eat. By investing in science, technology, they have become a rich country. Yes, in the map, it is showing that those are the countries in the tropical and subtropical countries. Obviously, they are affected by different extreme weather events like cyclone, drought. Those are the countries because they are having a very good weather. That is one thing. At the same time, they are also affected by natural calamities like cyclone, drought, heavy rainfall. They have big rivers or flood. So we have to actually recognize those things, and then we have to think that how we can actually improve our life. So that's why that's still they are poor. Their per capita income is low, their GDP low. That is why they have those problems. But once they improve, like China or South Korea or Singapore, even Malaysia can be, to some extent, Philippines also a good example. I think there will be no problem.
All right, can we go to the next question?
Yeah.
Like we said, our audience is very involved during discussion. So
Yeah.
From Jachin Buding, what are the common tools used in the study of planetary health? Like, do you have any measuring tool?
No, there is no common tool. It's actually transdisciplinary subject or multidisciplinary subject. So you need actually, multiple tools for planetary health. Sensing, you need statistics, you need laboratory analysis like biology, you need all kind of things. But you have to see that where, for what purpose, what tools is appropriate. So I think it's fine. So if you allow me, I want to go actually, Okay, I want to answer this question. This should need to develop more renewable and low carbon emission energy sources.
Yeah, the next question.
I think this is a very good suggestion. Yeah. Population control is also important.
Okay.
So Jenny, if you allow me, I want to leave because I have to pick someone,
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Byomkesh. We truly appreciate your time and your efforts. And yes, we would like to quickly present to you the certificate of appreciation. Dr. Byomkesh Talukder from York University for delivering the webinar, Introduction to Planetary Health organized by the Filipino Science Hub and held via Zoom and YouTube Live on the 6th day of November 2021, given the same day. So it's signed by Dr. Jeffrey Bunkin, our CEO and founder, and Mr. JP Onya, Vice President, Filipino Science Hub. So thank you very much, Dr.
I am delighted. Yeah.
And thank you all to our Zoom and YouTube participants for faithfully attending all our web events. So hopefully we'll see you again next Saturday. So thank you so much.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, Byomkesh, and thank you for your questions.
Yeah.
Sa ating
Thank you.
mga-
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day.
So we'll end our webinar this morning. So abangan nyo na lang po ulit yung susunod nating web event, and we will post the certification link on our YouTube channel. So pakiabangan na lang po doon yung ating link for the certificates. Dr. Janice, meron ka pa bang ibang announcement?
Sinend ni Kuya JP yun eh.
Oh, okay.
Can you still share it on
Okay.
Zoom?
All right. Okay. So, all right. So, ayan, we'll just post the link for the certificate in a few moments, and hope you have a good rest of today. And kung kaya nyo po, after lunch, join us on our site talk.
Anong oras nga po yun? 1 p.m.
1 o'clock. Oo. So, ayan. Ito na yung link. Nakita ko na siya.
Oo.
Ayan. Sorry about that.
Delay. Wala kasi nagtanong kanina.
Oo. Ayan. Andyan na yung
Oo.
yung link for certificate. So, ayan. Thank you so much.
Let's give them a few moments para makakopy nila. Baka mawawala, no? Nawawala kapag in-end na yung Zoom.
All right. So,
thank you so much.
just give 1 minute more so they could click on the link.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay na?
Yeah, mukhang may mga lumalabas na sa Zoom.
Okay, sige.
Thank you so much. Lalo na sa ating mga viewers na nagtatanong.
Okay, sige po. Have a nice day. Next time po ulit. Bye.